Hello. I forgot to move Luke over here, but there we go. Welcome back to the
Hello.
stream. I'm Talion. There's Luke.
Hi.
We're back for
Hello.
more of the devil. Um, yeah. We're, I guess, about to head back into the trial. And we have so much information,
Trial time.
a lot of which we can't use. I'm just gonna
We
move
can't
you right back.
use. It's like Sosuke doesn't even care that we were vindicated.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares, Sosuke.
Uh,
We were in your corner, man.
yeah.
We wanted you to get a self-esteem, and you're sitting here like, no, I considered that and decided not to, actually.
Yeah, basically. And hello, Badman. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even know what angle we're gonna come at this from now. Obviously, at some point, we're gonna have to implicate Han. That has to happen somehow.
she's the only person we can pin to the scene of the crime yet.
Yeah.
Like, Han is sketchy, Mireille is also sketchy, but based on our previous conversation, it doesn't seem like she wanted Sosuke dead,
Yeah.
which would make it harder for her to be the true culprit in all of this. Like, and we so far don't really have anything aside from her name on one card pinning her to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, it seems like they might have been, like, planning something around her rather than planning something with her.
Yeah. Vindicating, that is a word and it's accurate.
Yep.
It's a word and it's accurate.
That's good.
Yeah, so something very quick. When I was checking out, I was jumping back to one of the previous streams because I was trying to remember how I voiced Mireille. And it turns out she has when she's talking to Morgan, she brings up, you know, she leads you down the conversation to talking about the soundproofing Morgan has on her windows because of that train she lives next to. So I'm like, okay, that was absolutely useless for us because we had like a whole weekend between the streams and we just forgot about it.
But she was.
But it's a very good,
She was potentially.
It's a very good game design theme. Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional or not.
It could have just been like foreshadowing on the game's part, but it could also have been Mireille actually trying to plant the seed of that information in Morgan's head.
It's very weird because it's like it's definitely the game doing something. But maybe Mireille had reason to know what was up with the blue blood place and the rooms and the soundproofing.
Yeah, it could have just been the game thing.
Could lead us back to her.
That is
but Han is currently the much more suspicious motherfucker. Like, we know that Morgan plans to put Sosuke on the stand. And basically the only... Could we pull up our newest evidence? Because we don't have much that's actually new. You know?
What did we even get? I mean, there's the knife that we didn't have
before. The knife is going to be the huge thing. And it's got to be something that she's tying Sosuke's testimony to.
Did we pick up the bindings recently? Like, those...
We did pick up the bindings.
That we added that.
Well, okay, I don't think that's actually weird. I think that's going to be an inroad to pointing out the knife, because if the prosecution's argument is Sosuke
cut himself out
wrestled out of if it's like he wrestled out of his binds or something, he just snapped them with his pure brute force from his mods, we can say nope. Also, they were not found outside in the main room, because the prosecution's argument has been they dragged Sosuke out.
Yeah.
And we can say no, the cut bindings were in the torture room.
Oh, yeah.
We have the knife.
We do.
We are going to presumably supply the knife at some point.
Yep.
I think we have like the vault door now. The whistle is a big thing, yes. The whistle is huge. I think it was like the vault door, because we still don't know how that ties into things.
Oh, yes.
But it ties into things. Was unlocked when they arrived at the scene of the crime. Yeah. nothing suspicious was found, but like that's important, and it uses a physical
It was
key.
a different room than the like second floor one we were looking at, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're assuming
like
they number things, they could do it the British way. In the future, they might decide that all rooms on the second floor start with 100. So we have some new stuff, but honestly, not a lot of new stuff. We know from Reyes that when they came in, there were 2 bodies lying down on the floor.
Speaking of Reyes, I need to know how this morning went down.
Reyes, yes, she's
Did one of them just wake up first and then leave before the other was awake, or did they actually have to interact in the morning?
That's true. That's worth knowing. Yes.
I cannot wait for Reyes to show up again so that we can acknowledge what happened. He's so funny.
Yes.
All right, back to actual conversation. What were we talking about?
I was just saying the 2 bodies. I think that somehow the fact that there are 2 bodies is going to line up to proving that what's his name, Chopin, could not have had the katana in him when he was arrested, thereby proving somebody else did something to the crime scene. I think that's got to be how it comes together. Yeah.
I need to know. These are the important questions.
She was born to shoujo, forced to toxicuri. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, this fucking trial. Let's defend our fucking our lying defendant who wouldn't tell us shit and that we were right.
Disappointed in you, Sosuke. You just keep disappointing us.
Sosuke. We were on your side. We were on the team, Sosuke. All right.
He must have waved me down over 5 times. I've been in private banks with less active security than this. Were they private banks that had recently had a shooting? No. Oh, his eye's like uncovered now.
Yeah.
And the comparison seems flawed. Armed guards in the halls, drones outside the windows. Androids standing firm in the streets, triple spectrum scans at every entrance. They really rolled out the red carpet for you this time. If they were this concerned, why didn't they just move the trial outside of the city?
That's an option?
The district attorney said as much, but the city council overrode them.
The Chopins!
Interesting. That is a little bit odd.
The Chopins! The district attorney? You mean Miss Rockford?
No, she's like an assist. What was her official title?
No, she's a DA.
Is she? Hang on, I want to double check that. Was she? She's an assistant district attorney.
Huh. Yeah, I guess we got a different person.
Miss Rockford's boss. Word of the attack yesterday is already trickling out. They can't afford to delay, or it'll look like they've been successfully intimidated. There's such a thing as overcompensating. Not on the stage of security theater.
Were you able to look over the DNA analysis that Cyanus completed, Adonai?
That's a good question. The report on the bindings, yeah. What have we got?
Okay. Sweat to matches skin. Okay, so Cyanus just got all of Sosuke's DNA. And Subject E, because that means that the knife transferred after Miller was dead.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hell yeah. But that also does mean that Cyanus just got a whole bunch of Sosuke's new DNA. So, like...
Yeah, well, they had plenty of options in that crime scene.
They had plenty of options on that crime scene. I'm just saying either they're not testing it anymore because they already found him.
Yeah, I think they already know.
Somebody's covering it up.
Like, I don't think they need to do that at this point. Gave me a lot to think about on the ride over. You're looking much better. Yeah. It
That
looks almost
pretty
entirely
Anastasia
back to
face.
normal.
Yeah.
I don't feel better. They gave me some sort of injection last night.
What?
I woke up in much more pain, but they still insisted on taking off all my bandages.
What
Concerning.
did they inject him with? Yeah.
Some sort of injection?
Sosuke consented to intravenous injection of a recovery accelerant at 9:33 p.m. last night. I'm still not super worried about that. Yeah, or I am worried about that.
Why are you so pretty, Sosuke? Well, now we have our weapon finally ready.
It's all that royal mafia blood.
Yeah. You consented without knowing what it was? I nodded. Thought it would help me sleep. The interrogation room floor isn't exactly ideal for rest. Spoiled brat. He just takes every possible opportunity to just insult him.
Morgan is like, I am not on board with this.
The guy's been through enough. He doesn't need your...
He's been through a lot.
just constantly nagging at him.
We still need to, like... He's been through a lot, and we're still gonna have to, like, emotionally torture him more.
Yeah. Isn't the same guy who was confidently telling me he was fine with going to jail?
What about you, Adonai? Were you able to get any rest?
Well,
Rhea's lore. Tell us the Rhea's lore.
I slept like a rock. Eventually. Didn't even wake up when a certain unwelcome guest stumbled out the door in the early morning, thank God.
So it was Reyes who ran off with her shoujo tears.
But it was an accelerant, huh? I thought there was something familiar about this discomfort. He's done this before.
Done this, yeah.
They gave it to us back in the military, on occasion. I heal up faster, but it still takes the same toll overall. Explains why I feel like all my bruises are fresh.
Why'd they wait until now to start giving Sosuke medical attention, though?
Emma must have realized it was getting a bit silly. Trying to accuse you of murdering 5 people when you looked like you had been thrown through a windshield. He's just like, but my pride.
And don't worry, Sosuke. You're still handsome, even without the rugged edge that your injuries provided.
The blush is so funny. Hearing that doesn't make me happy, you know.
Your words say one thing, but your blushing
Why
face
are
says
you
another,
blushing?
Sosuke. Yeah. Sosuke's like,
Aw.
listen, Sarah looks very ambiguously aged, and I don't know if this is weird or not.
Not like you're spotless. You still have a mark under your left eye. I mean, that just
Is that an
Looks
old
like a-
scar?
birthmark.
Yeah, we haven't seen his face like that before. Yeah, oh.
I wonder if that's some sort of identifying quality.
Well, so the thing is, we already, like, he's already got the most identifying quality of having the DNA of the secret Anastasia
Yeah,
princess.
for sure. Like, that's not
So it can't
in
just
any
be
doubt.
like, this is the identifying birthmark or anything. What if
Yeah.
it's like Daisuke wounded him by accident when he kidnapped him? I've had this since birth, and also my adopted family is super great, and they've never harmed me ever. Oh yeah, what about that birthmark?
No, I've had this since birth. Oh. I was told once that it's charming. Who told you that?
Who told you that?
Why'd you bring it up? Is it not charming?
Sosuke.
So needy! Oh. It is very endearing.
Thank you for clarifying that for the court, detective.
That was the same story you told me yesterday down in the lower wards. He and Reyes were the second on the scene, so they focused on clearing the lower floors before meeting with Rogers. Good to have it on the record so I can look it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look it
Hell
over.
yeah. Because if he hasn't said, all right, clearing the area.
Already
All the
apprehended the
rooms were empty.
suspect. What does apprehended mean? Because apparently he didn't cuff him.
Well, okay, so yeah, because the thing was like Reyes's wording on that. I checked on that because I was like, what did she say specifically? Because the thing she said was Rogers couldn't cuff a cow or whatever, something else that's easy to cuff. She didn't say like, oh, Rogers had so much trouble while cuffing Sosuke. She said like Rogers couldn't cuff anything. And I'm like, that sounds like a description of a guy who didn't handcuff Sosuke.
Yeah.
One
I think
was
we're gonna have
unlocked.
to find out what apprehended means.
Yeah. What does that mean? As for the next item on the docket, calling the defendant to testify.
Seems like it's gonna be a nothing burger. Not entirely, Your Honor. My client waives his right to decline.
What?
Wait, does that mean that he can't decline any question up to and including
what does
like
that
he could
mean?
still fire us and
Yeah,
whatever,
for sure.
but
Like
it
we
means
can't
that
we
he's
can't
got to
abuse that
answer-
power. But what does that actually?
But he's got to answer everything, including the stuff he doesn't want to answer. That's weird.
Huh.
Does he now?
And also, did he actually agree to this?
Yeah. He nodded.
Sosuke Ikaria. I'm a head of personnel security at the Ikaria Financial Group.
And the IFG, that's a family-run, small business, mom-and-pop operation, I take it.
Family run.
Well, Mr. Ikaria, I feel like the court already has a strong understanding of the circumstances you found yourself in. How you were captured and tortured by these 4 known criminal associates, all of whom are now dead. How you were found standing over the body of Officer Chopin, but he wasn't found standing over it. They scribbled that into the arcs. I'm just like, you can't have this hyper advanced and then just like doodle in like, oh yeah, this is your
super weird.
defendant. I doodled him in. This is incontrovertible evidence. I suppose all anyone can ask is, what do you have to say for yourself?
Wow. I can only tell you what I remember. Even if that's mostly pain.
How about after the pain? How did it end?
I woke up to the feeling of my blood drying on my skin.
Familiar sensation for a head of personnel security, I assume.
Objection. I can answer. It was a novel experience.
Yeah, he doesn't bleed often, for reasons.
I pulled off my blindfold and felt like I'd stepped into the desert. Light flaring in my eyes, heart thumping in my temple. But I realized there's a gun in my waistband. The indicator showed it was spent. Didn't know what to make of it.
Does this gun look familiar to you, Mr. Ikaria?
Yes, that's the same gun.
Let the record show the witness has admitted to wielding the same magus used to kill
admitted
2
to
of the
finding
victims.
it empty
He admitted to
in his
holding it.
waistband. Yeah.
In his underwear.
Yep.
Is this okay?
The little shark face just gets me every time. That's so goofy. I stumbled forward towards a door, and past it, the whole room seemed red.
And after that, you don't remember? Anything else you'd like to say to the court, Mr. Ikaria, before we finish?
There's one more thing I recall. Hopefully it's not anything incriminating to Morgan.
I remember this lady with, like, really long red hair.
I remember her holding my sword.
Okay, that's not great for us.
Stonks are going down again.
The stonks are down. You remember holding your sword.
Oof, that ain't good.
That's very interesting of you to say, Mr. Ikaria.
But the thing is, like, it makes him sound more honest that he's actually, like, saying what happened and not
like,
just trying to
He's not
to
dancing
whitewash
around
everything,
it,
yeah.
but...
Oh. Hello, kitty. In armrest position.
Armrest position.
So cute. It was on the ground, and it's important to me, so I bent over and picked it up.
Do you recall the next thing you did with that sword, Mr. Ikaria?
No. The next thing I know, I'm being transported and read my rights.
I see. Your Honor, do you feel we need to continue?
The questioning?
The trial.
Shut up!
Emma, you're being a real Miles Edgeworth about this.
Yeah. Ouch! Ready to begin cross-examination at any time, Your Honor.
We always get to cross-examine.
If you insist. Round one, fight!
Surely we're past round one by now. All right.
All right.
So, what do we have
Depends
specifically
what we're
about... Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's see. Blindfolded and in pain.
Pain, yeah. Managed to, not untied.
Untied. So
Well,
scary.
we have to check the evidence.
Yeah, I mean, it did say cut bindings, though. They were cut by
true.
something sharp. It's like, I didn't expect it to come up this early.
Yeah.
What if we're like, objection, Yoru is a... What if we were like, objection, Yoru is a stupid name for a sword?
So yeah,
Sosuke
we do
isn't-
explicitly know that it's cut.
Yeah, it was
clearly cut with
clearly
something sharp,
cut
yeah.
with something sharp.
Easy peasy.
We need this to establish that there is a knife unaccounted for,
Yep.
so that we can actually present it. Sosuke isn't lying about anything, is he? Because we've established he's a lying motherfucker.
No, he's just subconsciously glossing over a certain key detail.
Morgan's like, I just need you to bring up the knife, Sosuke. I gave you that knife on purpose. I just need you to bring it up. I can't bring it up.
Yeah. All the trial prep in the world can't undo multiple concussions, I suppose.
All right.
Sosuke couldn't have untied his way out of his bindings. Not when they were very clearly cut by something sharp.
Objecting to a statement from your own client now?
What do you mean, Morgan? Those pieces of cloth were recovered from the room where you were held, Sosuke, and they've very clearly been cut. You didn't struggle your way out, you cut your way out. Yes, now that you mention it, that's right. But if I cut myself out first...
Your Honor, the people ask that the defense do their testimony coaching before the trial begins from now on. Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't have a lot of respect for Emma if she didn't call that out. As it stands, this has been a colossal waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, this detail probably isn't important, right?
It's so important, Your Honor.
It's very important, Your Honor. If he used a blade to cut himself free from his bindings, That means Sosuke couldn't have gotten free until someone handed him a blade. Meaning that the people's theory of a daring escape mid-interrogation is... I mean, I guess they could have cut him out.
Yeah. Which is what she's gonna argue is doing just fine, thank you for asking. None of us in this court here today seriously believe this man or his memory can be taken as the truth.
Then forget him and just look at the bindings.
Yeah, we have evidence.
They're hard physical evidence, and they had to have been cut.
By something sharp. What do we know that fits that description?
Except how the heck would he have been holding his sword when he was tied up? And also, it would be hard to cut himself out with that thing.
It would be really funny if he had. Like, I'm just kind of imagining, like, flailing that katana. But, yeah, it's like, we can prove it, I'm sure. You think it was Yoru? His captors kept him bound in that room most of the night, then cut him from his bindings with the sword to bring him into the main room for questioning.
Though? They could have just untied him.
And hang on. The bindings were found in the torture room. Like, I guess we're gonna use the blood on the bindings to prove that Miller was already dead, but like,
so
we've got an inroad, but...
Yeah, they could say that, you know, they cut him out in the room, then brought him out into the main room for questioning or whatever, but like, why would they have cut the bindings?
They just assumed he'd, like, you know, it was on the honor system. They were like, hey, you've been captured, no take backs.
Even if they wanted to untie him, though, they would have just untied it. And then, you know, they could have tied him back up afterwards when they were done if they wanted to. Why would they cut it?
We've got Miller's blood, which is all we need to refute
Yeah, the blood is definitely going to be important.
The blood is the key. It's all about blood, baby. Where he turned the tables on them before slaughtering them all.
Badass.
Well, counselor, are we done here?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Would the katana have been used to cut those bindings?
Well...
Looking at the actual bindings themselves... I mean...
So hang on, can we... Oh, hang on, actually, really quick, before we... Can we pull up evidence at this moment? Because Yoru... Morgan dragged it through Miller's blood like an idiot.
Blood, yeah.
Morgan dragged it through the blood like a goddamn idiot. Morgan! That one... It's either under the sword or Yoru. It might be down at the very bottom under Yoru.
Sosuke's sword, there we go.
There we go, Sosuke's sword, okay.
So, running on the assumption that Krieg's Potter extremely incompetent. You know, that's fair, I suppose.
It seems like the evidence has held that out so far. But yeah, blood residue at various points of the blade. God damn it. Oh,
I guess one potential point is that it would have had Sosuke's blood on it as well.
Yeah, no,
cut himself.
Because it would have Trey's... Okay, at the very least, it proves the order of operations. It proves that the bindings were cut after Miller had been attacked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So whose blood doesn't really matter. We know that the order of operations can't be because it wouldn't have had Miller's blood on it at that point.
Yeah.
They're operating off the assumption that the katana is what killed Miller, which is why it has Miller's blood on it. Because once again,
and since
that
all of the violence happened
killer,
in the other room, there wouldn't have been any way for the blood to then get on the bindings afterwards. Yes. It would have had to be when it was cut.
Like, yeah.
Of course it wasn't the sword that cut those bindings.
What do you mean?
The problem lies with the DNA. Your Honor, if we could please draw the court's attention to the forensic analysis of the bindings. You'll notice...
Your client's blood, obviously.
Have you even looked at this evidence, Emma? Come on. Yes, obviously. But upon closer inspection, you'll also see that blood from Miller was found as well. The poncho guy? Who was stabbed in the throat, as the court may recall.
By your client's sword, as is no doubt still fresh in the jury's memory.
Well, how can that be, Your Honor?
What do you mean?
Emma. Is it not sharp enough? What a piece of... How can Miller's blood have ended up on the bindings that kept my client from leaving the room in which he was held? Unless Miller was killed before my client was even cut free. There we go. That's kind of a big deal.
Isn't it?
I thought so, at least. Oh? She's lying. That's not possible. These assholes need to shut up.
These assholes. You thought wrong, counselor. It's true that the katana has blood from Miller's stabbing on it. And I'll admit that it's surprising to see his blood on your client's bindings.
Miller's autopsy shows he had no wounds beside the fatal puncture in his neck.
Yeah, take
the
that.
bindings on my client had to have been intact at the time Miller died.
But those bindings didn't need to be cut before your client could kill him.
So she's trying to say that he killed Miller with his hands tied, with the sword.
He's just that good.
How would they have even let him get his hands on the sword when his hands were tied? What?
Severe incompetence. Unfortunately, if Creek were only a little smarter, this trial would be a lot
that
easier.
incompetent.
Oh, God.
What?
If your client's wrists were left bound for questioning, he could have stolen the gun, killed Tanks and Creek.
So he did all of it with his hands tied. Ooh.
With his hands tied.
They really have a high opinion of his skills, huh?
He is the Hound of Icaria. Then picked up his sword, as he just stated in his testimony, and set to work. He did say that he picked up his sword after, though.
You think my client was drugged and beaten before killing 4 men with his wrists bound?
Hardly impossible for a man with his talents. And there's no other explanation for why he would have cut his bindings with a sword that, as you insist, must have already been used to kill Miller.
No other explanation? Not even if he used something else to break out of confinement? I mean, the knife is kind of obvious.
I mean, yeah, that's,
I don't know how that helps us, though.
I mean, this would be like introducing it to evidence.
For sure.
This
like,
was
it's not
found near the scene of the crime.
It's not directly refuting the current situation, but it's moving the conversation along.
It's at least,
yeah.
We need to actually submit this to evidence.
Well, let's see. What if my client had simply used this to break out?
What the hell is that?
That's a good reaction. Way overcooked from what I can tell. It's a murder weapon, Your Honor. One recovered from the scene of the crime. That knife. Yes, that's what I grasped when I first woke up.
Now, granted, we still haven't proven that he didn't kill Miller with this knife.
Yeah, exactly. But we're getting there, slowly but surely.
That's impossible.
What she said? There's nothing about a knife found seared to perfection in the ARC's data.
Is it overcooked or seared to perfection? This knife was not found inside the building, Your Honor. I retrieved it from the alley immediately beside it. Your android did?
Need wanted her to submit video evidence of the entire afternoon to verify it, doubting Thomas.
It's not the android I'd have trouble taking at her word, counselor. What forensics have been performed on it? Oh, only the very latest. Tongue tasting. There are no fingerprints remaining, and the DNA present in the blood is too damaged to be of use. But I have identified at least 2 different blood typings. AB negative and B negative, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people are, of course, interested in forensic analysis of any evidence that seems pertinent to the crime at hand. But this was retrieved from an alleyway dumpster.
Yeah, it was just used in a completely unrelated murder.
A soot-filled drum near an alleyway dumpster. From an alley in the lower wards. Doing that subtle classism there, Emma. Without strong evidence linking it to the crime, I see no reason to entertain the idea that this is some kind of... Strong evidence is going to be tricky. 4th murder weapon. 4th, hang on a second.
I guess if you count the bat.
Yeah, I guess she's counting the bat, because I was like, wait a minute, you guys thought there were 2.
3rd murder weapon.
Thank you, Morgan. What?
The bat was post-mortem.
The point still stands.
Well, how about it, Morgie? Any link between this totally not suspicious fire-broiled knife and our crime? Or should we just throw it back in the garbage?
Again, it was a soot-filled drum by the garbage.
Of course I have more to go on than mere proximity, Your Honor. I have proof right here that this knife was what Sosuke used to cut himself free.
Oh no. Okay, so we're looking at...
The cut on his left hand.
Oh yeah, cut on left hand, yeah.
He's potentially
because
relevant.
Sosuke's katana doesn't have his blood on it.
Yeah, exactly. Just want to save just in case that.
So...
But I'm pretty
Yeah, could we check the sword really briefly? Because I don't think it has his blood on it, but like...
Yeah, we can double check, but...
Yeah, Chopin, Trey, and Miller, yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that he has this cut is currently unaccounted for.
Yep.
Yeah, blood residue. So I think it's gotta be that, yeah, he's got this cut on the left hand.
Yeah.
Finally, we can bring that in.
Let's take another look at that.
Your client's medical intake record?
A little late to still be drumming up sympathy, but if there are shirtless photos in the file, I suppose I have a duty.
Sosuke's like, why do all the robots want to fuck me?
Everyone is thirsty for Sosuke.
Everyone's thirsty for Sosuke. There are. Sarah's wing-womaning.
What? I did not remove my shirt for... If I may please direct the court's attention to one specific item. Slight laceration found on left hand.
What do you mean, slight? Like a paper cut? More like a cutting board accident.
Neither paints a very gallant picture.
But if he had a cut on his finger when he was first arrested...
Then it must have been sustained around the time of his escape. Like when he was using a knife to cut himself out of bindings while blindfolded. Yeah, that makes sense.
Even a master swordsman can nick himself on his blade every now and then. His katana
Does not have his blood
doesn't
on
have
it.
his blood, we checked.
Was found with a lot of blood on it, yes. But none of his own.
His
correct. Yoru was thoroughly tested and found to have blood residue matching Miller, Trey, and Officer Chopin.
But not one drop of Sosuke's. Meanwhile, we have a knife right here, ready to be submitted into evidence and studied under every microscope the state can find, that just so happens to have Sosuke's exact blood type on the tip.
AB negative. That blood type. That's royal blood.
It doesn't match anyone in this case's full file except for Sosuke's. What? I do blood type fortune telling. So I have a hobby, shoot me. 2 shots right to the base of my skull. What is she
Counselor
doing?
Morgan,
She's so goofy.
perhaps you might grace us all with your formal request?
I call for this knife to be submitted into the record and forensically analyzed as quickly and thoroughly as possible. I wonder what they can get off of it.
Yeah.
Because I believe it is the murder weapon that actually ended Miller's life.
Huh?
Yeah, much better than a fucking katana. We just stabbed him with like the last tip of the
Yeah.
katana and nothing else.
A knife to the neck.
Would be much easier to pull off than using the very tip of a sword.
Thank you, Sosuke.
I hypothesize.
He's like, I don't know from personal experience.
Nice recovery.
Perfect, Ukemi.
I feel like that word has been brought up before. What does it mean again?
I think it might be a martial arts thing.
Maybe.
Like
You're like-
the recovery from a fall.
Maybe, yeah. I think they talked about it before, but I don't remember the exact
Yeah.
context.
Sarah remembered.
Yeah.
In other words, then, you're asking for the medical examiner to re-evaluate whether this knife might be a better fit for the wound in Miller's neck.
Yeah. Did you just repeat what she said, but slightly rephrased? A conversational tactic to surpass metal... It's worth repeating, Your Honor. Because the people understand the full weight of what this knife implies. It can overturn this entire case in an instant, depending on what Sato finds. Emma's repeating what I said because she's stunned. I just flashed her my hand, and it was my 1 card away from a full house.
The people have no objections, Your Honor. This trial requires that we fully examine this new piece of evidence.
Cool.
Wow, this was a short trial, but you
So
know,
does someone
short
have a
trial
number?
day.
Is there a group chat room for everyone who works for the government, or...?
And Dr. Sato is already on her way.
There is a group chat, and I'm not in it.
She'll begin the examination as soon as she arrives.
Guess we just slack off until she's done, then.
It occurs to me, Your Honor, that we ought to thoroughly examine why this possibly critical piece of evidence was not found during the police's investigation.
Because the investigation was honestly pretty crap.
Pretty compromised. You
And
found
also,
the
someone
first
seems
guy.
to have deliberately attempted to hide it.
Yeah,
question
you guys,
being
you found the
why.
first guy on the scene of the crime, and you arrested him the same way that you always do in these Ace Attorney games.
Mm-hmm. The investigation and preservation of this crime scene was a joint effort between the police and Sinus Security. Or are we going to question Han about the security
Yeah,
measures?
we
Let's
better
do
get a
that.
completely unrelated party who happens to be involved with Sinus Security and
Let's
get
get
her
her
on
in
the stand for no
here.
reason. Then perhaps our next witness can shine a light on the source of this deficiency.
Adelaide Hahn, site manager at Sinus Security. I served as supervisor for the scene of the crime in case 356319B. Wow, can I call you lady? Nah, babe. But what should I call you, though? Well, you can keep calling me babe, or... You trust the adjutant as your honor. Awfully cold name for such a hot...
Why the hell wasn't this knife found sooner?
Well, I hate to throw a business partner under the bus, but we at Sinus Security maintain the perimeters and stand watch over secured scenes. It's the cops who do the searching and flagging.
But do the perimeters include the alley?
Yeah.
Did you establish the perimeter inside the building?
You'd have to ask them why they didn't go dumpster diving.
It was a drum. The police aren't your business partners, though, are they?
I don't understand the question, Your Highness.
Sinus Security is a cell corporation owned by FIC Holdings, an offshore rebranding and effective pseudonym for Kim Acquisitions. So, Han works directly for Hana Kim.
Yeah.
Employees have no knowledge of its parent orgs. That's interesting.
Weird.
What is my job?
Huh.
AKA the heart of the criminal organization operating in the lower wards that is commonly referred to as the Blue Blood Mafia. So Hana Kim is pretty high up there then.
Yeah.
And also Kim might be Sosuke's original last name.
If you say so. It sounds like it's above my pay grade.
Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
Yikes. Can I get popcorn first?
I do like how, despite Han definitely being on the same side of the cops as we want to get Sosuke convicted forever, I like the fact that we've got this, like, political hostility that's like, oh, Emma's not actually just gonna take her word without...
Yeah.
Do you know why the state cooperates with the Blue Bloods to this degree? Why you're allowed to run your businesses and manage your petty fiefdoms?
Petty fiefdoms. How about this? It's a free country, and we're loyal, capitalist, tax-paying entrepreneurs. You got your own explanation?
It's because you're insignificant. Neither you nor your organization are on trial here today. That's not a favor, and it's not a show of respect. It's just reality. The state is slow to shift its priorities.
Emma's so pissed this case. Yeah, she is not taking any shit.
You aren't the focus of this investigation. Yet. But if you impede this trial's progress by dodging questions and playing stupid, you'll find that the state shifts its attention to your neck very fast.
How much do you want to bet she's gonna find that hot?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm surrounded by hot ladies. She's like in
Hot
heaven.
ladies. Emma's
got
already in
questions
her
for
own
me,
toxic
then?
Yuri pile, Han. Why wasn't the alley searched?
Because the police found all the murder weapons within minutes. No rational person walked into that bloodbath and thought, Gee, I wonder if there's a knife buried under a pile of ash in the alley downstairs. I think Anna's used to women being mad at her. Yeah, I think she enjoys it.
Your witness, counselor.
My turn. Ooh, blackjack time. If my
All
charge is
right.
right, it'll be critical that I gather as much information as possible about the scene of the crime. And the ways in which it changed after I left. When did Sinus Security first arrive on the premises, ma'am? Midnight. About 2 hours after my client was arrested. You're sure? Checked my messages and saw the time right on my phone when we got there.
Okay, that establishes she had your phone. She had her phone, which means she had the thing that gets creaks.
Yeah. You were there yourself. Trouble with being a site supervisor. You gotta stay on site.
You
Yep.
gotta stay on site. We've established this. Hell yeah.
Perhaps even in a room on the second floor.
Even in the room on the second floor, hon?
Lots of naps in parked cars. Hamlet slipped a few details about the building's setup when we first met. Time to get it all out on the record.
Hey, I think we got to at least try to click everything then, if we
Yeah.
want as much as we can get.
Do you know who owns the building that these crimes took place in? I don't. Do you know who installed the security features on location? It was Sinus. Must have gotten hired by someone. Not my department. But you recognized some of the handiwork? And the front door was Sinus. The individual vault room locks, too. That front door was locked when the officers arrived. They had to shoot it open. Shouldn't your security systems recognize officers of the law? Our doors use physical locks. A lot of folks in the lower wards don't trust a fob scanner that can be hacked. Physical locks can be bypassed too. This is a master lock. You can open it with a master lock. I don't know if anyone's seen those videos. They're very funny. Sure,
Oh,
but at least
lock-
that takes time. What?
Is this a lockpicking video thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Feel like he uses a lock to just like smack another lock and open it.
Amazing.
Yeah. I want to press.
I would vote we stay first. And well, okay, if we're getting
This is curious.
actually, yeah, if
Do
we're
all the
getting
doors require
information.
keys? That sounds important.
It
Like from
sounds
what we've
important.
seen,
We're-
yes, they all do, but
It's
I do
it's the
wanna
kind of
check
thing
out.
where I am reluctant to start pressing things until we know what everything
Yeah, we can try
is
all of them and then
asking.
decide what to press.
But we did get some extra cards by going through this first round.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
that's
can take a look at the other ones.
all right.
This is interesting
I
because like
feel
if she
like
was just like holed up in the building, she wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it seems unrelated, and that either
Yeah.
makes it a this is going to get you over 21.
Yeah, it's either
and you have
obvious
to start
bait
over.
or secretly important.
or it's
I want to
really
check it out
important.
for sure. It was a warm night, I'll bet. You asked me about the weather. Not exactly grade A small talk.
Relevance, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think we might get screwed here. I was trying to be polite, but if you insist. Were the windows open in the building when you arrived?
Yeah, okay, that's important.
There's a lot of windows. Not sure. The crime scene in the room directly below it. Were there windows open? Yes, those windows were open when Sinus arrived. Yeah, because we know that, like, when the crime occurred, they were closed, but when the police arrived, they were open. So by
Yeah.
the time Sinus arrived, they would be open. Strange. Didn't it rain that night? The drizzle was over before 9 p.m. Interesting. And even if it had been a downpour, it's not a crime to risk your getting your windowsills wet. Alright, so the building wasn't completely sealed by the time you got there. That is interesting, but it doesn't seem super relevant.
Yeah, it's
Let's save it for
interesting, but
later.
it seems risky.
Yeah.
If we do this and get another 3, we've got blackjack, which hopefully
I
means
think
it's
they're
the
gonna make
correct
us-
thing to do.
They're gonna make us raise at least one of them. It would be weird if we just...
Yeah.
That knife was found in the alley only yesterday, even though the police should have searched there. Yep, it seems like not everyone did their job. Did you do yours? Was the alley monitored around the clock? It was.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Any
Right.
disturbances to the scene in the alley? No, none.
Okay, so
That is interesting.
yeah, so the questions
So I would
we
say not the
have
second
are,
one.
yeah, why was
The
it
first
soundproof?
one's
Could this
question was
knife have been
soundproof,
planted?
Yeah.
What was
This
the first
does
one's
seem
question
more
again?
relevant. The first one was, did all of the doors have physical locks?
Have keys. Yeah, physical locks. Yeah. So the thing is, yeah, I almost feel like it follows naturally from you were watching this around the clock, so this knife couldn't have been planted. But that is the most important thing to get on the record, I think.
Yeah, potentially.
What would we answer if it was physical locks? I don't see an immediate, like, it would lead us to the vault door somehow, but I'm not sure what we're doing with that yet. I think it's more important to establish that this knife was here by the time the police by the time Cyan is set up,
That's
by
a
the
good
time
point.
police
That
got
is something
there.
that we want to establish on the record.
We need it on the record.
So there was no opportunity for someone to plant that knife there after the crime occurred? Not even a blue blood? There were cops coming and going all over. Why don't you ask them if we went around planting evidence? We did a damn job.
Oh no.
Right, as expected. Accusing a witness of corruption without strong evidence wasn't exactly a safe bet.
Okay,
Alright.
I think because we were going for the opposite. We were going for, so we're establishing it wasn't planted. So why? Okay, so the thing is, I could see keys being important. The why was the building soundproofed could actually matter though. Because if it's something like, as far as we know, the building was like, this was vaults for people and things, like people who
I guess,
needed
like,
to
what
lie
is-
low.
Yeah, like, we know why it would be soundproofed, but what was the official explanation for what the
The
building
thing
was supposed to be for?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that there's a chance that whatever the purpose of the building is can give us an inroad to like, oh, interesting. It was being used specifically for
Here we go.
like,
Like, this is the conversation we started with. That
yeah, do you know who owns the building? So she could just say it's not my department. Let's see. Keys or soundproof? Keys or soundproof? Because that requires a little more gymnastics, I think, to get to the vault door. But at the same time, Morgan had said she wanted as much on the record as possible about the state of the building, the things that Han let something slip, she said when we first talked with her. But I don't immediately remember if there was anything. Yeah, maybe if we look through like front door and things like that. We know the vault door, physical key like all other doors on the premises.
Yeah, so presumably we have already established that. Well, this is already like on the record then.
Well, it's not necessarily evidence that's been presented to the court.
Yeah.
Because this is stuff like the knife that we hadn't submitted yet.
But like we have that information. I don't know if it's in a form that's useful to us.
Yeah. But this is already stuff that we have information, like we have this information from Han, we need to establish it for the court. What's in the front door evidence? Okay, front door. Designed to automatically, physical lock and key system designed to automatically lock behind you when leaving the building. Damaged and non-functional.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like neither of them are really directly relevant to anything, but either of them could potentially have something useful.
I do think that could be important for like... I do think that could be important for like... sorry, the phrase, it could be important to establish that when Reyes and London showed up, they cleared the floor. But if all the doors required keys, they couldn't just go in and like clear, they couldn't just like flash their cop badge, you know? They couldn't just be like, oh, hey, we're cops, we're clearing things out. So they would have needed some cooperation in order to clear the floors, which opens a pretty big hole in just their general testimony of things. They were just like, yeah, we cleared the floors, we didn't find anything. It's like, well, if you needed somebody to let you in, then that could be important. So I guess I'm leaning keys right now. I think if we ask, like, why was it soundproof, she'll just be like, I don't know.
All right, let's see what we got. Is there any way to unlock that front door without its key? I mean, you could use a spare, right?
Not even the thing. Hang on.
Is there any way to lock that front door without its key? Well, it seems to lock automatically.
Well, that's what she said, but...
Yeah, but the technique's real complicated. You walk out and let it shut behind you. That door is designed to lock behind you automatically.
Okay, that's good for some reason.
It's a selling point.
I am gonna note...
For a building designed to be secure.
I am gonna note that's not what the press said. The press said, do all the doors require a key, not are you sure the front door requires a key?
That was not actually matching
Which is
the dialogue.
misleading.
Whoops. Thank you. That was a very enlightening conversation. But it raises just one question. Whoever could have gotten inside the building before Chopin and Rogers? Yeah, someone else was there to open the windows. The hell are you talking about?
Your Honor, perhaps Counselor Morgan might narrow down her absurd, attention-grabbing claim first, so that the people can properly eviscerate it.
Yeah, what she said. Someone got into the building before Chopin and Rogers did. That's become obvious. Or they were in the floor below the entire time.
Yeah, but I do think that the biggest problem will be she'll just argue that Sosuke opened the windows and tossed the knife for reasons. But I think we could, like... It's the kind of thing where it's hard to disprove with evidence, but, like, why would Sosuke dispose of exactly one murder weapon and none of the rest and just wait a half an hour?
What are you talking about? The only way into that building was through the front door. Chopin had to shoot it down. Are you suggesting that he didn't even try turning the handle first?
I mean, no. No, I think the front door was locked, but... I mean, I guess if we're saying that someone else came in from the outside, it could have been someone with a key. She did also mention you could use a
Can we look at the front
key.
door again? Because I know when this first came up, this was a thing that was kind of weird. Like...
I mean, also, I guess it could have potentially just been unlocked at the time, but then locked... Well, no. I think when Chopin and Rogers came in, it would have been locked. Right? I think so.
Yeah, so the thing that I do think that, yes, it would have been locked, because the thing that they just established is like, okay, it locks behind you when leaving the building. I think that it also, you know, how would a physical lock door know if you're leaving or entering the building? It's got to also lock behind you when you enter. So yeah, it would have to be locked unless there was somebody literally there to unlock it for him, which would be hella suspicious, but I do think Rogers would have noticed that. I think it does have to be the door was locked. The thing that we're trying to point out, though, is that the windows were different.
Yeah. No, the door was definitely locked when those two arrived. This witness has testified that the door is designed to lock itself automatically.
Yeah.
So it's impossible for the door to have been left unlocked.
As you say, but in that case, if we know that the front door was locked all night, and we know that the master key was found on Creek's body on the 3rd floor, then where do I even... What the hell are you trying to say anyway?
Just that they used a spare key.
Oh, a spare key. How convenient.
I'm kind of wondering if they could have also left the key on Creek's keychain. Like, didn't he have that before?
I mean, they could have.
I genuinely don't remember. I think they did, but I don't remember 100%
I think if we're going the...
I think Morgan would have remembered if the key was not there and was added later. So I think it was there.
Yeah, and I think that what we might be going for is that there is at least one door that was unlocked, and if they all work the same way, that means there was somebody
someone
in the place who had
opened
a key.
it recently.
Yeah,
and there wasn't enough time. Not enough time had passed for it to lock itself.
I mean, if it was,
If
unlocked
it was, like,
and even
auto-locked.
open.
Yeah.
Was the door open? Was the vault door, was it open?
I think it was just unlocked.
Just unlocked.
It was unlocked.
This one was unlocked. Yes, but there was at least one that was unlocked. So like,
so I think
somebody
it just
had
had been opened recently by someone with a key.
Yeah. But completely unfounded.
The witness just testified that a spare key is the only other way in.
Which does imply there are spare keys.
But there's no proof that a spare key even exists. We could ask the witness.
Probably not, no.
Probably?
So how about I show the courtroom where it was hidden instead? Huh.
Okay, yeah,
That's interesting, yeah. What? That's not what
okay,
I expected.
that is a swerve from what we were thinking, Morgan. Okay. Where it was hidden.
Oh, was it under the dumpster?
Because literally under the doormat.
Yeah. Well, I mean
that's gotta
the
be
dumpster's
it.
apparently like crazy hard to move. So like not just anyone would be able to get at it.
Yeah,
so it's a good hiding spot.
We've been wondering what's up with this dumpster, and it's literally just the doormat for the spare key.
Yeah. That's
Amazing.
so funny if that's it.
Yeah, it's gotta be it. It was hidden inside the sound system. Everybody knows if you conduct sound through a spare key, it sounds more metal.
Yeah, and they definitely could have just gotten it out of there without going inside.
Yeah, exactly. It all
Totally
fits.
normal. Alright, let's
Finally,
try
the dumpster is... Finally, the dumpster's pulling its weight.
The dumpster. What is your obsession with presenting evidence found in the garbage?
I'm going to ignore that comment. And besides, there wasn't a spare key in the dumpster. It must have been underneath it.
Boom. What? Is that true?
Hey, don't look at me. I have no idea what she's talking about. That dumpster has clearly been moved, as indicated by the markings left behind from dirty rain in the lower wards.
We can all see those marks, Counselor, but it could have been moved at any point after the last time it rained down there.
Well,
No,
it
because
rained
the
that
rain
night.
happened on the murder scene, and they were watching the alley.
The witness just testified that the last time it rained was 9 p.m. on the night of the murder.
Me asking about the weather was important and relevant.
Ugh. Foiled by small talk. So what? Your claim that a spare key to the front door was left underneath the dumpster? Not so dissimilar from leaving a spare key under a potted plant.
Yeah. Or a setting stone, or a biwa statue.
Okay, Sasuke, we get it.
Yeah.
This isn't anything like either of those examples. That dumpster is massive and its wheels are long gone.
So, the person
I mean,
that
Han
moved
has
it
mods,
must
right?
have been modded, yeah. I think she said explicitly that, like, even with her mods, she wouldn't have been able to move it, but I think she was lying.
I think she was lying.
Correct. So if anyone had moved it after the police had arrived, the cops definitely would have heard it. If it was moved after the rain stopped, and before Chopin and Rogers got there, that narrows it down to sometime between 9 and 10 p.m.
There was a loud noise that Rogers heard during the whole
Yeah.
thing that we didn't fully identify. So moving the dumpster.
And of course, someone would only bother to move a dumpster that heavy if they knew what they'd find underneath it. Have you been raising? We've been going like max at every point, I think.
High roller.
Yeah, look at our credits. We're at 262. Han said she could if a girl cheered for her. Yeah, that's right. She did say that.
That's true. Han, you and
I
the
still think that
cheerleader
was a
were on the
lie.
scene of the
I don't
crime.
think she needed a girl cheering for her. But maybe there was a girl cheering for her at the scene of the crime. I don't
Maybe there
know.
was a small girl with a weird cloak that we still haven't figured out what the hell that kid's deal was.
Alright, hang on. I think we might have accidentally skipped a... Oh, okay. No. It was just Emma ...
Someone like.
Oh, there we go.
We're just going for it.
Okay, let's see our options.
Yeah.
Tanks,
Modded. Yeah.
Creek, Chopin,
Yep.
Calling out the modded arms
Yeah,
explicitly.
Han is the one that fits modded arms explicitly.
It had to be Han, of course.
A counselor.
Or, manic adrenaline. Yeah, that too. She doesn't like that.
Well, Han.
As a known associate of the Blue Blood Mafia and an employee of the security company who installed the front door at the crime scene, she'd have known exactly where to find a spare key. That dumpster also happens to be incredibly heavy. But I don't believe this witness's mod documentation has been submitted to the court. Could you estimate for us your approximate lifting strength? You lift with your back, not your arms, lady. Yeah, but you didn't have to lift it, you just had to push it.
Yeah.
Pushing strength, then. Me, I couldn't push over a flower. Uh-huh.
That's an obvious lie.
Fact is, you're just bullshitting. There's no proof for any of what you've said.
It's true, we've gone a pretty far away with just speculation.
We could check for your fingerprints on the front door.
You'll find them, because I've used it plenty of times. It's my job. We could check for your fingerprints on the dumpster. That thing's filthy. You get nothing but partials from a bunch of unlisted. And addicts and whoever else are stumbling around in that alley. Would we? Dunno. But after you do, I might just recall how I nearly puked when I saw that crime scene. And how I might have stepped out into that alley to catch my breath.
Oh, yeah, okay, she definitely did it.
Would you believe I rested my hands on that dumpster then?
This is the exact rewriting of the story that signals a guilty conscience.
Yep.
This line of questioning is unproductive, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan cannot substantiate her theory because the fact is, there's nothing strange about Han's print being on any centimeter of that building.
I feel like you could
Any
still find
sign?
places that would be really weird for her
That
to
would
have
be weird.
fingerprints on.
What about the torture room?
Not when she spent nearly 2 full days patrolling it.
True, fingerprints won't be enough. I need something more impactful.
A boot print?
And I've got just the thing.
I don't know that the boot print really proves it, though.
What?
Han was there that night. She was there before the police ever were. And she was there long before Sinus showed up at midnight. And I can prove it right now.
Oh no. How?
Exactly.
How? What? Is she making a pun on How Industries?
I'm going to
Okay.
prove how she got there before the police did. Well, I guess that would be because of her alert.
That would be the whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the whistle. Okay, that's pretty easy.
What the hell was that?
Ed and I, did you really have to do that again?
So I was getting so confused back there with this little pouty face.
Sosuke's just like, this is a roller coaster.
What is happening right now?
This is a simple whistle. Every time I press it.
Oh, we don't even have the option. Like, we as the players are not allowed to fuck this up.
Yeah.
Morgan's just like, no,
Poor
I'm
little
just doing
Sarah
it.
with his little puffed out. Every ad in the courtroom picks up a rather nasty frequency. As does any phone with the proper receiver app installed. Oh, that's an angry face.
Oh yeah, that's the murder face.
So, should the witness be excused so she can answer her phone, Your Honor? You brought that shit into the courtroom.
Where exactly was this whistle found?
At the scene of the crime, of course. And it was also conveniently missed in the investigation.
Yep. Convenient.
Near where Creek's body lay.
Police must have disregarded it as a keychain or toy. Didn't anyone ever teach them that when you find a button, you should press it?
That's the exact opposite of what you should do at a crime scene.
Yesterday, Dr. Sato testified that Creek was alive for several minutes after being shot. If he pressed this whistle even once in that time, the witness's phone would have started getting alerts. As I've demonstrated to the court just now. Anything to say for yourself, Miss Han? Did someone install the app on your phone as a prank? His reception has a limited range.
Yeah, but she's got to be on site.
The lower wards is a tight-knit, high-density community. How far could you have been? Far. I wasn't in the area that night.
It doesn't matter what range she was at, Your Honor. The defense claims that Han entered the building with some kind of spare key, letting the front door lock behind her to block Chopin and Rogers. But those two officers did enter after they shot the lock. At which point they didn't run into the witness.
Rick was shot at around 9:45 p.m. Considering the time it would have taken Han to arrive and retrieve the spare key, she would have only been a few steps ahead of Chopin and Rogers.
After coming so far with your brilliant spare key deduction, are you now going to claim that she simply ran away?
No. At that point, she would have had to hide. And she hid in...
Let's see, yeah, we've got...
I guess it would be the
first floor
unlocked one.
vault.
Because she went
Yeah,
down
it's gotta
there,
be...
and then she left in between, you know, her escape and London and Reyes.
Yeah, because Chopin and Rogers didn't clear all the rooms. So as long as she got out before Reyes and London get there, they would never have spotted her. So.
Yeah, and she would have had to get out just before they got there, so that the door was still unlocked. It hadn't had time to auto-lock.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's possible that the inner apartment doors don't automatically lock. I was just like, at that point, I was like, maybe they all work the same way.
They said it was the only one unlocked.
Only one unlocked, yes. It does mean she didn't lock it behind her. I'm just saying I don't know if these doors have
These don't have auto-lock. These have to be actually locked.
Yeah.
It's possible, but I would guess they're the same. Not entirely clear, though. I would definitely go for that.
Yeah, it's like, that's a lot of doors to do that for. It's like, it might make
sure.
sense to just
it is,
do it for
It
the
is
front
pretty
door.
fancy security.
Yeah.
But...
So, it
yeah,
had to
I
be in
still
that
think
vault door.
The door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since they didn't see her, logically, we must conclude that she hid in one of the rooms on that floor.
That is logical, but it's also entirely conjecture. I'm so angry I'm dropping verbs.
Not this time. Detective London's testimony established the possibility.
Yep.
That's a lot of coins we're getting.
Yep.
We are rolling in the dough.
We are rolling in it.
Remember what the Detective London testified earlier?
Rogers had already apprehended the suspect, so we focused on securing the area. Sunshine and I cleared the first floor. All the rooms were empty, but one was unlocked.
Can you teach me how to speak brackets out loud later? Two police detectives have sworn that one vault on the first floor was found unlocked. Unlocked, perhaps by a spare master key? That is true, like, even if, they didn't auto-lock, presumably they would have all been locked, like, manually, and someone would have had to unlock it to get in.
Had to unlock it.
Why are you surprised, too?
Sosuke's like, wait, you mean I didn't do it?
Is that some kind of big deal?
Your Honor, what Counselor Morgan is proposing would put the witness behind Officers Chopin and Rogers as they proceeded upstairs.
Yeah, because she got behind them by going down the fire
which
escape.
is where Chopin was stabbed. Behind him. Yeah, because Rogers was just in the second floor room. She could have just gone up those stairs.
Yeah. Not a bad place to be. If you want to do some backstabbing.
The most extra way to say that.
You gotta be shitting me. That's
some creative geometry you're employing, Counselor. Imagining the witness as somehow getting positioned behind Tariq Chopin, yet somehow remaining invisible to the eyes of Officer Rogers.
He wasn't there, Emma! He wasn't there! He told us that!
yeah.
This requires zero debunking. No, that's not.
Non-Euclidean crime scene recreation. Very novel.
She would have had to have like really precise timing though to like
We have
come in
Rogers' testimony.
come in after Chopin stab him and get out before. How much time was there in between? I know we
I
had
don't
that
think it
somewhere.
actually takes much doing. Like, okay, no, like seriously, genuinely, we have Rogers' testimony in there, right?
I think so. Somewhere.
Because it doesn't actually, like, literally all she needs to do. She's in there, she's in the room. She's just hiding while they're going up.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she's already even been there, you know, she's seen the scene of the crime. Because now I'm starting to think that, like, if Chopin was not, like, in with the Blue Bloods, which is still kind of debatable, he might have also had a whistle lab, you know? But I'm wondering how much of her motive for killing Chopin was just, oh, obviously Sosuke Ikaria murdered all of my Blue Blood buddies, and also I'm mad at him because I probably know he's the secret little lord and everything. I need to make sure he goes to prison forever, and that won't happen if it's just a bunch of gang members here. But if I kill a cop with Sosuke's sword, then...
Interesting.
But yeah, we don't have Roger's testimony?
It doesn't seem like it.
That's weird, but like his testimony was very clear. Chopin parked him in the second floor room.
For how long,
Then-
though, is the question. I don't remember
Well, it
that.
was definitely no, because he got the alert and the flatline, right?
That's true. Like, he did only come like, after Chopin was dead.
After he was dead, which doesn't take much doing because it literally just means that she went up the second floor while Rogers was in that room and not paying attention.
Yeah.
She snuck up on Chopin while he was in the third floor room. And then after Chopin died, she just booked it out the fire escape.
Yep.
She could go down there to the second floor as soon as Roger started coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much doing, actually. It's not non-Euclidean at all, Emma.
Her insult sounded really smart, so I'm inclined to agree. I thought I had something, but when I tried to put the cards on the table... How could Han have gotten behind Chopin on the third floor? Was Rogers distracted at the window, maybe? Or... Wrong question. I'm getting ahead of myself, trying to work backwards at this point. I shouldn't ask what Han could have done to get in a position where she was able to kill Chopin. I should first ask what Han would have done to serve her own interests. Your Honor, there's some testimony I'd like the court to hear once more. If you could access the stenography protocol... Or are we gonna get Roger's testimony back?
Yeah.
A what protocol? Was I supposed to be taking minutes for this meeting?
I can recall any testimony you want to review, Adonai.
Thank you, Sarah. You are so much more useful. If Han won't self-incriminate, then the only testimony that could give me a clue as to her actions would be...
Okay.
Rogers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything... Okay.
Just to make sure, but I accidentally clicked it. So whatever. Good
Oh,
enough.
well. High roller, we did it.
Yeah, we did it. Recite
We
Roger's
did it.
testimony from yesterday. We did it. Start from after they entered the building. Trivial.
What are you fishing for? We heard a loud slam. Chopin gets all deadly serious and insists I stay and he goes ahead.
I wonder what Han, like, planned for. Like, did she know that Chopin would separate from his partner? Was she
Yeah,
like
so if this
intending
was
to
a
kill him
case-
from the start, or did something happen
Yeah.
when she got there? I mean, presumably
guess
she
it
just
must-
snuck up on him from behind. So
So the thing with Chopin doing this thing is it was already weird and suspicious. This was
Yeah.
the Chopin is doing something sketch. The fact that he
I guess-
insists Roger stays behind.
the fact that
Suggests that
they
he
both
was-
seemingly got this signal suggests
Yeah.
that there might have
They
been like
both got the
some
signal.
connection or communication
Some connection.
between that.
And he went straight for
So-
Creek's data pad.
Yeah.
His fingerprints were on Creek's data pad, so he was
So
not
if-
there to
If she
investigate the
knew
crime
that
scene.
he was involved in something or other, and that
Yeah,
he,
yeah,
that he
he was
would have
looking
tried
for-
to go by himself so that his partner wouldn't find out. That's potentially
Yeah.
possible.
Which means if Han is working with Chopin, then she knows it. Then she knows that Chopin would split up from Rogers, and that she'd be able to get one of them alone.
That's it. The sound Rogers heard from the alley, the one that made Chopin want to form a pincer. That must have been when Han... Huh. I wonder if she made that sound on purpose then? To make them split up?
Well, if we're about to supply a possibility,
Yeah, well,
a loud
let's see.
slam doesn't. We've talked about the dumpster, but
Yeah.
okay, it might not be the dumpster in this case. Must have been when Han. Okay. So
It could have been landed on the dumpster if she was originally upstairs, and then she jumped down and circled back around behind Chopin.
I
could
feel
see
like-
that.
But if it was jumping
It
on the
wouldn't have-
dumpster and he knew that, then she could be long gone. There's not a lot of reason to assume that the culprit is
Yeah.
going to circle back to be pincered. Moved the dumpster would imply that she wasn't in the building yet.
Yeah.
And I'm tempted to say it's that one.
Hmm.
Disposed of the knife, I'm not
Well, she
sure if
wouldn't
it
have
would have
needed
made
to
a
move the
loud.
dumpster. Because when they got in, they'd already broken the...
That's true,
lock.
that's true. She wouldn't need to, because I'm thinking she could move the dumpster after to replace the spare key if she was trying to cover her tracks. But I think that the whole reason we saw the markings in the first
Yeah,
place
it's
was
'cause it
because
was
the
moved,
dumpster was
yeah.
moved from its original. So it
Yeah.
wasn't replaced. So it's not
Disposed
moving
of
the
knife,
dumpster again.
feel
I
like
guess it
doesn't make
has
a lot
to
of
be.
sense either.
Well, disposing of the knife doesn't, it wouldn't make a lot of noise, but opening the windows would cause a slam. And that's something where if you knew
Actually,
what
but
the
she would've
upper
had to
office
make
was
that-
like.
What floor would she have made that noise from then? Because at this
The
point,
third floor. Because that's why the window was open, because she was disposing of the knife. I don't know why she was disposing of the knife and only the knife. Maybe she was
but,
trying to
like-
clean up the crime scene and got
But
caught
if we're
at
saying
it?
that she circled around behind Chopin, then she wouldn't have been on the top floor at that point.
Uh,
mean, I
that
guess she
one
could be.
confuses me a little bit, but she could have gotten there. We are establishing. Okay, she got there first. She hid in the room.
Yeah.
She circled behind. But if she circled behind to get to the third floor for a specific reason, because she would have been wanting to dispose of that red ink evidence. Like, what would she have needed to do? Well, shit, Creek just got murdered. I've got to go into that safe and take care of all this incriminating evidence. She gets up there. There's a bloodbath. But the papers are still there. For some reason, the knife is something that she tries to dispose of. Or maybe she even opens the windows to dispose of other evidence and then gets caught at that. But I don't think she needs to hide in the room for more than just to get past them on the stairs. Like,
Yeah.
I have to assume there's a point where they're there that she sneaks around. Like, I don't think landed on the dumpster also requires both moving the dumpster and landing on the dumpster requires that she is in the building, or she is, moving the dumpster doesn't work with the
moving
timeline
dumpster doesn't make any
because
sense to me.
she got in first, the door would
Yeah.
have been open already.
Yeah.
Landing on the dumpster, the thing that gets me is it just doesn't make sense for a pincer mechanism. Why do you say, oh, we'll corner her on the second and third floor if you know she's not on the second and third floor because she's in the dumpster in the alley and she's just gonna run? You know, that's not a pincer.
I'm trying to remember like what the logic was for the pincer back when we first brought that up. Because like,
well, it would imply
what did we
she's
argue
either
that
on the second or
noise
third
was?
floor.
I think, did we argue that the noise was someone jumping out onto the fire escape?
At the time, I think the noise kind of eventually passed by because we got distracted with the soundproofing. We got distracted
yeah, but we
with
said
the
that
how
they
did...
heard some kind of noise, and so that
Yes.
alerted them to the fact that there was another person there and they wanted to try this pincer thing.
I don't
and
think
they
it got to that point, though.
I think we did talk about
because
that.
I think-
That's why we're bringing it up again
I think
here.
we so the thing is, my recollection is we were thinking about, oh, it's weird that you heard this noise. I guess then maybe it was the second noise, the second thump that we were thinking of. Maybe there was another thump. I wish Sarah had recited the entire testimony instead of just the bit that Morgan thinks is important, because it's been a while. So yeah, I guess I might be thinking of, there was at some point a thump that we were like, oh, how did you hear it over the loud noise? But that wasn't right. The thing that we needed to call out was, how the hell did Chopin know that there were shots fired? But if you've got a pincer method, and you've got one officer on the second floor and one officer on the third floor, it stands to reason that you think your suspect is on the second or third floor.
Yeah.
Or, critically,
they thought
floor.
They thought the suspect was moving between the second and third floors via the fire escape.
Yeah. So for that to happen, it would have to be a noise that is happening on the third floor, which is to say Han would have to be on the third floor disposing of the knife. That's the only one that places
disposing
her
of the knife
on
would
the
have
third
been
floor.
like her. What would that have even been? Her like throwing the knife from the
It would have been
window
her
into...
opening the window. Yeah, opening the window, which would make a
potentially makes
slam.
sense. Maybe.
So she opens the window, there's a slam. Chopin, who is shady as fuck and knows what's up with this building, is like, oh shit, somebody's on the third floor and there's the fire escape that goes to this room. Rogers, you better stay in this room for pincer method, and also I'm gonna go do some shady stuff on the third floor. I think that's the only one that makes sense.
But then if we're trying to argue that she circled around behind Chopin, how would she have done that in that case?
I mean, they were on the second floor when they heard this noise, and then Chopin was like, Rogers, you set this up. Like, we're thinking of this like a hotel thing,
then
right?
Chopin goes up to the third floor, and how does Han get behind him?
Yeah.
Is she just hiding in the
She was
room?
in front of him. She was in front of him. Yeah, I guess she could have been hiding in
we
the
were
torture
saying
room,
before
maybe.
that she had gotten behind him, but it could be that we're now going to turn that around and say actually she wasn't behind him. That is entirely possible.
Well, she could have gotten behind him like in a different way. Like, she was in the room first, but she could have circled around. Like, they have the torture room, which has a door. If she just hid in the torture room behind the door.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's one way she could have done that. And that's the thing. Emma's like, oh, non-Euclidean crime scene. You're saying your client. Yeah, and the slam, like, I know the dumpster's been the loud noise, but I don't think either of these makes sense. It only makes sense as a pincer move if your suspect is on the third floor fire escape.
Yeah. I also am just like not sure that the windows opening would make that loud of a noise, would they? I don't know.
I'm not sure it would make that loud of a noise, but if she didn't realize somebody else was coming, she might not have cared about, like, being discreet. She might have been like, ah, shit, I gotta get rid of this knife for some reason.
I don't know.
Like, the dumpster doesn't make sense, is the thing. I know that it's loud, but she couldn't have moved it because she got in first. If she landed on it and that was the noise Chopin recognized, there's no reason for him to set up the pincer maneuver. He should be saying, oh shit, something in that alley, we've got to give chase.
Yeah, not entirely clear.
And I don't think it makes, like, you know, we need her to be on the scene of the crime when Chopin gets stabbed. Like, if we can't prove that, we're fucked. So she landed on the dumpster and left while Chopin is still alive.
Well, I don't think she would have left in that scenario. She would have come back.
But why
But
would she have
it's
circled
not-
back?
yeah,
Why would
it's
she have
not-
jumped onto the dumpster and then circled back? And then we have the problem of how does she sneak up on Chopin the second time? Like, we're back to where we started. We're literally going in circles.
Yeah. Weird. I guess we'll try dispose of the knife, but I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess. We gotta go for something. Make our bets.
Yep.
Of course. That was the sound of her tossing the knife into the trash.
Opening the window, Morgan. Drum.
Did she tie it to a set of symbols first?
Okay, and I don't get the other ones, though.
Dropping a knife into a trash can could hardly draw the attention of someone standing indoors. Come on.
Right, of course. Allow me to rephrase. The sound that Chopin heard from the alley, the one that that Rogers heard from the alley, the one that made Chopin want to form a pincer. That must have been when Han... Okay. The sound the officers heard was that of someone fleeing the scene.
Oh, really?
Like, that
Use
also
those
doesn't
pencils.
sound right.
Yeah.
But moving the dumpster sounds the most wrong. Out the window, down the fire escape. Well, down the fire escape is what we were initially theorizing.
Yeah, just into the second floor. Is this one of those we've got to be wrong to be right?
And onto the dumpster.
All right, loud dumpster, you had your day.
Have you considered these cops are stupid? I guess so.
You literally
drop.
had your day in court.
Even a dainty suspect would make quite the racket using the dumpster lid to break their fall.
Your Honor, if we have to entertain this thread of conjecture, might we at least ask for proof that it ends somewhere impactful?
Haha. I hear ya. Counselor Morgan, take this one seriously. You're telling me that? What exactly are you accusing this witness of?
Well, I guess all or nothing, we're fucking going to murder.
Are you prepared to accuse Han of having murdered Tariq Chopin?
I think so.
Okay, so what do we got here?
Yeah. I think we can go for it.
Is there an additional... Somebody else also got onto the crime scene.
Obviously I am.
A secret fifth person. Counselor, you...
I'm joking.
Yeah, no, we're
Okay,
not supposed to
apparently
accuse her yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, absolutely no one's laughing.
If my theory's right, then it was the sound of Han fleeing the scene
Yeah,
that
because
caused the cops
if
to
she
split up.
fled, she just fled.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's gone. But, like, if we gotta fucking...
Yeah.
Oh,
In
we're
other words,
fucked.
At the time she left, Chopin was still alive. Well, there goes
Hang on
that
just
theory.
1 second. Just 1 second.
So then it must have been another, like, fourth party that did this. Oh boy.
If she circled back, I'm not sure why she would unless she really needed to shut Chopin up.
Yeah.
But,
I
like, we
know.
don't
It
have
doesn't
any
make a
other
lot of
people who
sense.
have
We
these
don't.
motives and everything.
We really don't. Is it really not her? I don't know. Oops, I think I forgot to read that. She's been uncooperative and has lied on this witness stand. But Miss Han didn't kill anyone.
Murray? Are you, Dark Horse, throwing yourself back in the ring?
Whew, that was anticlimactic.
Oh,
I mean, perjury? Who even cares? God damn it.
okay, but she... Why?
I don't know. I still kind of think it was her. Fleeing the
This
scene
is-
to
yeah,
get my
this is
awesome
a-
murder weapon and then coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Han's got a lot of shady, suspicious reasons. Like, bare minimum, if we can get her to testify about what she was really doing here, it might point us
Yeah.
towards a different person who came onto the scene of the crime. Dark Horse Rogers really was the smoothest manipulator in court, I guess. Something like that.
Yeah.
But that's weird because, like, you know, Murray's sketchy, but we don't have anything that pins her to being on the scene of the crime, which is kind of necessary if we're going to argue she stabbed someone at that scene. We've neatly ruled out a lot of people. I don't think we're going to accuse Reyes or London of murder.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if London had murdered Chopin, then we never catch him. So, Han remains sketchy, but Morgan's saying this doesn't feel like a trap. I think Morgan has sussed something that we haven't. So it's like, are we blaming that small child or something?
Yeah,
the
small child has to come back at some point. What is going to be the deal with the small child?
We're running out of accusations.
Yeah. We're out of suspects.
We're out of suspects. Tell me Murray was on the scene of the crime or something. We need something.
Perhaps now, Your Honor, the court can get back on track and bring this witness's testimony to a close.
No, we still need to figure out what the heck she was doing there.
What the heck was she doing? Yeah.
And considering the fact that she may very well have perjured herself, I think it might be a better use of the court's time if we cleared the room for the remainder of this witness's testimony.
No objections, Your Honor. Okie dokie. Bailiffs, clear the gallery and remove the defendant to a holding room.
Guys, I think that we haven't, as the comments say, we haven't considered the fact that Chopin just stabbed himself in the back of the stomach. Chopin was just like, no, I hate Sosuke this much. Stab.
They're forcing us
He
out.
was like,
what the hell?
He was not on board with that arranged marriage for the Blue Bloods.
Hey, tag along, would you?
With Sosuke?
Don't let someone with a concussion fall asleep, right?
He's been asleep many times.
I'm certainly not still concussed at this point. See, he's delirious.
So what is it that she's talking? Yeah, she's talking to Han about something she doesn't want Sarah hearing.
Very well, Adonai. Good luck.
Han, what the fuck?
Place empties out faster than I thought. No gallery, no jury live feed, no bells and whistles. You just give your testimony to the defense, the people, and moi. Then, when you're done, I get to watch them argue over whether or not I should add it to the record. So, you think I got something contentious to say?
I mean,
Sorry,
at the very
but it's
least,
just gonna
it
be
might
more
be.
of a cold shoulder.
Then maybe it has to do with Sosuke.
What I think is that you're scared. The hell? Of what? Who? You? An audience? What, the pigs? You think I give a shit what any of them thinks, says, does? Even if any one of them might leak what you say.
Yeah,
back to your
okay.
car.
So I think she was trying to dispose of Sosuke's DNA, and I guess just got interrupted by the cops, like, no, hang on, that doesn't, yeah, no, it might work. If she heard them opening the front door, because, like, Chopin shot the lock off.
Yeah.
So she had to have heard that,
sure.
especially if the window was open, because if she was tossing evidence, which has got to be the thing we're talking about here. If she was tossing evidence, window was open, she hears a gunshot. She's like, oh shit, onto the dumpster, I guess. So she didn't have time to wipe out Sosuke's DNA from the crime scene, I think. I think this has got to be how
would that even
ties
have
in.
been a feasible endeavor at all to try to get rid of all that
if
DNA
she
evidence?
If she had time, because, like, as far as she knows, she's the only one. I guess maybe she didn't fucking know about Chopin, but if she's the only one who gets this alert, right?
Yeah.
She gets there. Creek's
She
long
would have
dead.
figured she had.
She can't do
all the time
anything.
she needed, yeah.
And we've talked about this. Like, it would be very unlikely. Like, the window was closed when all of the shooting happened, so nobody would have heard it. It's also not necessarily unusual in the lower ward for there to be violence. So there's no
and she
real
also
reason
probably
for
would
the
have
cops
thought
to
that
show
if,
up.
you know, at this point it was just Creek's pod dead, she probably would have thought that even if there was a police investigation, they probably wouldn't be that thorough.
Yeah, like, it's the kind of thing, if it's just Creek and Co.
Yeah.
The cops don't have reason to investigate this. I think she's more worried
I feel like
about,
if she
DNA
knows
all
the
over
cops are
scene.
going through it with a fine-tooth comb, it's kind of a fool's errand to even attempt to get rid of all the evidence. But if it's just gonna be like phoned in, then she's got a chance.
Yeah, they're not gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of blue blood drug dealers. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, you know, she would have in theory had all the time she needed to clean up the murder room or the torture room. I think
And I wonder
somewhere
if
said
it's
something about
it's
some
partly,
kind of,
you know, well, I don't know. Like, if she was, like, more on the old guard side, it could have been to protect Sosuke from getting framed for this, but it seems pretty clear that
I don't think she
she's
is.
on the other side.
Yeah, I don't think she is.
She would have wanted to screw him over, but at the same time,
I
she
think
doesn't
that
want
ship
him
sailed.
on their, she doesn't want him on their radar.
Yeah,
doesn't want
I think
getting
she
out.
thinks, and maybe she didn't even know about the mission, because she's in Zionist security, and they keep talking about how siloed these places are. So she wouldn't be one of the people getting sent after Sosuke. That's other young bloods who are on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
So she might not even know that they, like, were holding Sosuke captive. She might just think, I went onto the scene of the crime, and I fucking found this guy who I'm not 100% clear how, because if she's trying to hide this from the old guard, that means she somehow knows about Sosuke, but doesn't know that the old guard also knows. She's trying to hide it from them. So I guess we might need to see what exactly she was doing, but I think it has something to do with controlling who has access to Sosuke's fucking DNA, which, again, not for that, like, money situation, just for, like, the information element of it. Like, this is something that the old guard has shown a willingness to throw young blood lives away over. So,
What an old guard.
the ruling faction among the Blue Bloods, who use young bloods like this witness as their cannon fodder.
Where'd you learn all that? You binge a late dine special? Knowing Emma, she just learned all this from...
Matter of fact, I did.
Old guard knows where my loyalties lie. I'm no snitch. So now there's someone to snitch on. I don't help state prosecutors, and I definitely don't help Ikarian lawyers. The court's already emptied out.
Like, I guess she could also be trying to protect Creek's pod, because, like, they were definitely acting against old guard interests.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't even that it's, like, the knife in particular was a problem. Maybe she was just going to get rid of as much of the evidence as possible.
We can
Like,
sit
hey
here in
gang,
silence
don't
if you
worry
like.
about the fact.
Yeah.
Hey, old guard, yeah, this pod just died. Don't worry about it. No important DNA was found at the scene of the crime, and they definitely weren't acting in direct violation of your orders.
15 minutes of nothing, and then you walk out. Go when you do, someone's gonna make assumptions about what went on in here. Telling me I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't, ain't exactly got me feeling. Sosuke didn't kill Creek. Maybe you don't care if an Ikarian dog goes down for a crime he didn't commit. But how do you feel about letting the killer go free?
Yeah.
About the person who did put that hole in Creek's chest, toasting to the news of the verdict. Screw this. 9:47 p.m., night of the murders. I got the alarm on my phone. Knew it was Creek, because the whistles all have specific frequencies. You gotta set them into your device if you want to listen for them. Creek had nerves like ice. Strong bluffer. Wouldn't press that button unless he absolutely had to. Gloating Mudge Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I would go pop the champagne. I ran. It was fastest that way. On foot. Usually is in the lower wards. I knew where the spare key was. Helped set up the whole damn place. Doors, keys, soundproofing. Stepped inside and had just gotten my phone light out when those two idiot cops came up. Reds and blues, but no siren.
Yeah.
Trying to be some kind of movie shit. I thought they were gonna shoot me. Then I heard Chopin getting ready to break the lock, and I knew they were gonna shoot me.
So, heard Chopin getting ready. So, by that point, the window was already open. So, she's the one who opened the window, and she's omitting that.
Used the spare key on the nearest vault, dipped inside, and prayed they would just head straight upstairs. Lucky for me, they did. You followed after them. At a distance, but yeah. Saw their boots on stairs, their shoulders around corners. Man, she must have been really quiet. They split on the second floor. One went upstairs. He was quiet, except for that squeak on the fourth step. Hang on, did she not hear the bang that made them split up then?
Yeah, she's
What the heck?
claiming that she wasn't the one jumping on the dumpster,
Yeah.
which she's here. She's on the scene. What do you mean she's not the murderer? Yeah, hang on.
Strange.
And she's saying, can you scroll up for a second? She's saying, stepped inside. So she says she was on the first floor when they came in.
Yeah.
Heard them, I guess, through the door. She says soundproofing, but I guess it could be that proximity to the door.
She heard no siren from inside.
Yeah,
though.
no
That is
siren.
interesting.
I'm I don't know if maybe the idea is the door isn't soundproof the same way the windows are, but it still feels like we've made such a huge deal about the soundproofing.
Yeah. Weird.
So she ducks into the room, and then this is the thing that gets me is I'm like, Emma, it's not that hard to think that she could sneak up behind Chopin. She's saying she could have done it. And this happens now after we're like, nah, she wasn't the mmurderer.
Yeah, they might have just come in with no siren on, but how would she know if they had the siren on or not?
Yeah. It's if the soundproofing
if she was inside
is
and saw them coming in,
if the soundproofing
she would
was
not
complete,
have known.
she wouldn't
Why
know
would
that
she
they
assume
didn't have
it's
the
no
siren. She'd just assume, yeah.
She would have
So
assumed
she's
that they
not-
had the siren on.
She's not telling us the full truth. And
I mean,
you're saying
it
she
would
didn't.
make sense for them to not use the siren, but the question is why did she know
How
that?
did she know that?
Is the question.
Yeah. And then if she didn't hear the bang, because they split up on the second floor where there was a
also
bang.
super weird.
And Emma, I would just like to point out that it was apparently really easy for Han to sneak up behind them. Not non-Euclidean at all.
Creek used to joke that was a valuable security feature. Oh, it makes sense. They separated on the second floor without any prompting.
Yeah, what happened to that slam?
Other one was stomping around at the second floor, so I was able to keep my distance. I always knew exactly where that one was.
That's Rogers.
Siren also means the lights. I guess that would make sense.
Well,
but she
they
said red and blue,
though.
which
yeah, no,
makes,
she said red and
which
blue.
sounds like the lights to me.
Yeah. Reds and blues
sounds like
no siren.
Yes, lights, no sound.
Yes, lights, no siren.
That's how I'm reading that.
Yeah.
Then one shouted down. He shouted, saying that everyone was dead.
So I do remember that from Roger's testimony.
That must have been Chopin just before Sosuke snuck up on him.
Shut up!
Prejudicial. I know there's no jury here, but prejudicial.
I liked Creek. His boys were alright too. But I did not want to join them in Red Hood's company. We're bringing this back, huh?
We're bringing this back.
So I didn't risk sticking around a second longer. I opened that window on the second floor and jumped for the ground.
No, she did not. If she did, it means that Rogers is actually lying the fuck to us.
Yeah.
We're coming back
to...
to...
my knees, fall on my ass if I had to.
Roger, is this how Rogers the Master Manipulator wins? The thing is, this does not line up with Roger's testimony in a way that doesn't really make sense if he's the one lying. Because Rogers is the one who said, we heard a sound of the dumpster, and that's what made us split up. But, like, why would Rogers, if he was lying, if he was the one who murdered Chopin, why would he lie and specifically add the detail about the dumpster noise if it came after?
Well, the question is, if it wasn't the loud noise that made them split up, what did make them split up? Because he could have said that just like as an excuse for like, yeah, this is what made us split up. But then he would be trying to cover for the real reason.
Yeah, why did they really split up?
So right now, I'm definitely thinking that Han is the one who's still lying. And it honestly, it's not impossible that she is still the murderer. But I think she's still hiding things from us. But yeah, if that's not the case, then that means Rogers was very much lying to us. The thing that gets me is I'm just like, why would you include the detail? Because the dumpster thing is an identifying detail. That's the only reason we're able to put Han at the scene of the crime, is Rogers heard the dumpster. So why does he didn't say that he heard the dumpster. He said that they heard some kind of loud noise.
He said he heard a loud slam.
And he said that as an excuse for why they split up, is what I was saying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that it's like, oh, he just coincidentally made up a separate loud noise, and that's what the clue was the whole time. The clue was a lie, but it was also real. It just didn't happen at that time.
I mean, if he is a master manipulator, maybe he used a real sound on purpose to just, you know, as long as we don't get that timeline quite right, we would buy the story. I don't know. I'm
just like, it's a weird thing to put in there, seeing as it led us exactly here. If you just said, oh, he had a split up because he had a theory.
The best lies are half truths. Yeah, exactly.
Except they're not, because we found it out.
Well, we found it out, but only through, you know, a number of twists and turns. It could be that...
Through a number of twists and turns. I'm just saying that, like...
Not that confident in our abilities.
It's the kind of thing where just saying nothing would have been better. And it's like, why did he say that if it was a lie?
I mean, I think he would have had to give some sort of excuse for them splitting up. I don't know.
Yeah, but you could just say Chopin. Like, he already said Chopin. he's already been saying like, oh, Chopin heard something that I didn't hear, but he was very insistent there were shots being fired, right? He doesn't need to make up a separate thing. He can just say Chopin was really insistent that I should stay down here and we should pincer. Like,
all right. Well, I don't think
we've
there's
got
really
these
much point in us
additional loud sounds, and I'm
going
very
in circles
confused
about this. I think we'll find out.
We are
eventually.
going in
We'll
circles,
find
but
out.
like,
We'll see. One of the
What
two
the
is
fuck?
lying. We don't know why yet.
yes.
Yeah. But I ended up smacking the dumpster instead. Guy on the second floor is shouting after me. They're in the alley. I heard windows slide open above. Yeah. Footsteps on
We're
the fire
already
escape.
in. Yeah. No, you didn't.
So this would be the actual murderer, quote unquote. But are they
no,
real?
hang
is
on.
the
No,
question.
she's definitely lying about this part because she is claiming that she was in a second floor room because Rogers was in the one.
Well, no, at
the
this
room
point
with
she
the
was
fire
on the
escape,
dumpster.
right?
She had jumped out onto the
No.
dumpster.
But she couldn't have jumped out onto the dumpster because the dumpster was directly under the fire escape. So she would have had to have jumped out from the room that was in front of the fire escape. She couldn't have reached the dumpster from any other window.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So Rogers was in that room, right? That was the one that he was parked in.
Yeah, that's a good point. That
And she says
yeah,
the
she wouldn't
guy
have been
on
able
the
to jump out
second
from
floor.
that. Yeah.
His testimony sucked, but like that was one of the things that we were able to establish. Sarah, play it back for us.
My knees had stopped shaking, and the fog was with me.
I'll admit
never
that
saw
it
me.
is possible that it's possible that when Rogers was just like, I was in a second floor room, it wasn't this exact one. I can't remember for sure if we established that he was in the one with the fire escape.
I think he was specifically in that one because they had seen the fire escape and they knew where it was.
All right. If
It's not
that
the
is
only room on the
case, then
second
this
floor, but I
doesn't
think
add
it
up.
would have to be the only room that's viable for any of this action.
Yeah, the dumpster is directly under the fire escape. That's what we established.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be able to jump out from any other window. You're saying you never even set foot on the third floor. Oh, also, Han, we've got the boot print in the
Yeah.
second floor.
That was on the second floor
Yeah.
room, yeah.
Yeah. It's not the only room, but it's the only room that should be able to reach the dumpster.
Yeah.
Like, can we
exactly.
pull up the dumpster fire escape combo? Because it was like directly underneath.
Uh-oh.
Something happened. Oh no.
Did the game just crash?
You're not allowed to check this evidence.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh no. The non-Euclidean crime scene recreation.
What the heck is this?
Oh no.
There's my... Okay. Welp. I think this game... Yeah, well... I don't think there is any kind of, like, autosave with the high roller mode, right? So, we might be kind of screwed.
Shit.
Welp.
We might have to breeze through some things.
That is unfortunate. What the heck?
Yeah.
The skip option is pretty good, yeah.
Okay. This is just, we're testing all of the features, actually. We're testing the skips.
Yeah, no, this is...
I thought we had saved earlier, though.
We did save a while back, but...
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, I thought we'd saved way sooner than the beginning of the trial. Okay.
Well, you know what? Just for the sake of honesty, let's
Yeah.
let's do the thing.
Let's repeat our blunder. And then we gotta do the...
What is that? What is that sign for skip? I can't read that.
Oh god. It's so tiny.
Hang on, do we have control? I don't know.
What
Do I just
button
hold it
is
down?
that?
Oh, here we go. Yeah. There it is.
Okay. We're being honest.
Wait, why is it? Okay. So now
Landed
it's
on the
landed
dumpster.
on the dumpster. Why is the control not working?
Okay, so we're getting back to Han. As soon as we get... we
and
did
then
accuse
also
her
save it,
first.
yeah.
We did accuse her first. In the interest of honesty.
I don't understand how this control thing works. I have to like keep pressing it.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. It's delirious.
It's a hold, I think. I was trying to hold it. And it like goes for a little bit and then stops. Like that.
Okay.
And now it's not working. See? I think it just skipped like
Again.
one line. Like I'm holding it now, and that's it.
This is, yeah, a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so we're getting to our new testimony. Blah, blah, blah. Sosuke didn't kill Creek. Okay. There's a lot happening here.
Maybe at read only? Or at read only, but... Oh, yeah. But we have read this. Oh, but it hasn't saved. God damn it. That's why. Because it didn't save our progress, so it considers those messages unread.
We should save, by the way.
It didn't register. Yeah, we definitely need to save.
Let's save right now.
Okay.
All right.
Phew. Okay.
Okay, so we've got this whole one of you motherfuckers is lying.
Oops. So yeah, I mean, did we?
The thing that I was saying is we've established that the dumpster is like right under the fire escape. It's the kind of thing where like.
Oh, we wanted to look
You
at some kind of
can't-
evidence, right? At the fire escape.
Yeah, because we've talked about the dumpster and the fire escape. The fire escape, the third floor room and the second floor room beneath it. Only move freely back and forth between those two rooms. And then the dumpster itself. Just next to the crime scene. I guess we don't have any evidence saying it was right beneath the fire escape then. So I guess that's what they're saying is she's just coming from a different room.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. Okay.
I kind of remember there being
Yeah, for some reason I
the
also
fire
remembered
escape
the dumpster being right underneath the fire escape, but maybe that's not true.
right underneath, which is like, that feels to me like she couldn't have pulled this off. And there's a lot of other things in her testimony that aren't lining up with Roger's. I swear to God, if like after all of this bullshit where it keeps being like, no, it must have been the dumpster that they heard. If it's finally the window and it's like, oh yeah, no, Rogers is talking about the window and we finally get to say the window, I'm gonna freak. I'm gonna be like, I've been saying it's the window since day one. What are you talking about? Okay.
All right. I think this is,
And we're
this is
back.
where we were. Where's the spare key now? Bottom of the bay at the moment. Hell of a throwing arm, as you can see. I ain't gonna help you go snorkel around for it, if that's what you're asking.
Well then, the people thank you for your testimony. You've cleared up a number of oddities surrounding this case.
But not critically, yeah.
Though none of the answers you've provided have changed the fundamental facts of what the defendant is accused of.
Could you give us a little more testimony?
quite.
Yes, thank you.
She was in and out, counselor. Didn't even set foot upstairs.
I know. Not until she came back to secure the scene, right?
Which, okay, good. We're going to prove that she was upstairs.
Out with it, counselor. There's no need for theatrics without the jury or gallery here.
I'm still here. I do appreciate the witness being so forthcoming about her first visit to the scene. Now I just need her to explain why she started covering up evidence when she returned.
Okay, we can at the very least prove that.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so this one we can do. Because that's just yeah, that one. They were knocking things over.
Why go to such effort to hide one small scrap of paper?
What is this? More trash, seriously?
That's exactly what it is. Trash. Garbage.
Oh,
Some
interesting.
idiot knocked over a trash can on the second floor. It's a big building. This stuff happens.
That is a murder face, Han.
We never said that was in the trash can on the second floor.
Yeah. We just said, why go to such effort? Come on, Han, sloppy.
Still don't want to answer? That's okay. I will. You covered up that scrap of paper because it implicates you as an accomplice. Didn't see that coming.
Because it's nonsensical, Your Honor. Counselor, you just got done explaining how Han arrived after the pod was killed and left before Chopin died.
I mean, she's not saying that it implicates her in the
Yeah.
murders. She's saying
Then
it implicates
she's an
her in other
accomplice.
conspiracy shit.
As an accomplice.
Not as an accomplice to murder.
I guess in
It's
the
the
hell
mafia
future, those kind
equivalent
of
of
same
leaking
thing.
government secrets.
Has she leaked things to Mireille? Question mark.
Even
Who
though
knows
the
what
papers were
about this
almost
conspiracy?
entirely illegible. It only took 4 characters for the P492 plan to blow up in court yesterday. Years of blue blood planning all down the drain. Because Creek was reading something he shouldn't have when he died.
Yeah, that's right. Creek was super
But if he
incompetent, and
shouldn't
that's
have
why those
had it in
papers
the
were
first
out.
place,
There were no other
one
reasons.
has to wonder where he might have gotten it. All because of that one goddamn watermark. Identical to the one on your own business card.
Yeah, that's why we have the business card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I forgot what the business card looked like. I just saw a blue CY and went, ah, yes, sign of security.
Yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
very,
I definitely assumed that.
it's a very
But when we were
intelligible
scrolling past the
logo.
evidence, I definitely did notice that it was also on the business card. But yeah, I think
That
we
makes
definitely could have
sense.
figured that out even without the card.
Yeah, it's kind of
We'll see.
brand recognition. I'll give him that.
Zionist security? You leaked the red ink?
Creek never asked nobody for nothing. Dumbass was a giver. Give money, food, blood more than any of us. Enough that the weaker ones wouldn't have to get stuck. A guy like that came to a two-faced con hostess like me and asked for help. That red ink is radioactive. Anyone caught with it. Why would he ask you for it? Holdgard knew Creek was charismatic, brave, smart. Everything they feared in a young blood. But they also knew Creek made them too much money for them to just off. So the old guard decided to wear them down instead. More jobs than any other crew. More responsibilities. Less downtime. No sleep. Keep him too tired to have time to rebel. Then wait for him to screw up. So you can make an example of them when they do. Managers would do the same thing when a host got too full of themselves. Started thinking they were the ones bringing in the money. They were the ones who should keep it. Just put him on the grind. Grind him into dust. One old bastard had him trying to grab that Icaria kid or whatever.
So she really doesn't know.
Does she actually?
Oh my god,
know?
Han.
At the same time, another expected him to do some kind of arms handoff to a big shot.
Oh, the no mask.
At least that was the rumor. Look, point is, Creek knew they had a target on their back already. So they wanted some kind of deterrent. They could have dropped that red ink into any inbox in town, like a tactical nuke, if they had to. But maybe that's why they fired their missiles first.
She thinks it was an old guard. Yeah.
You think the old guard killed Creek? I don't think it was that pretty boy Hound nursing those broken bones.
He is pretty.
Did he off the Chopin guy, though? I mean, I'd kill a stuck-up, spoiled prick like that for no motive, so... Han, do not say that in a court of law.
That now, after we've decided not to formally accuse you. Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, so the problem behind two stuff, it's like, yes, it makes sense. It's just like, that almost seemed like the obvious thing. Like, yeah, of course we're covering that up again. Did that answer your questions, Counselor?
Not the most burning one.
Like,
when did the scrap of paper arrive on the second floor?
someone carried it with a boot.
Wasn't there when I ran out that window.
It was dark and you were panicked. How could you have even noticed?
Paper's white. If you had seen it, would you have taken it? Interesting how Han shifted to they them for Preek at the last part. Yeah, I've noticed that certain characters tend to use different pronouns. Like, I think...
I mean, Creek uses any pronouns.
Yeah, but, like, I think Morgan has only ever used he, him pronouns. And I think Sarah only uses they, them pronouns? So, like, there's some consistency. I'm not necessarily saying there's anything to it. It's just kind of, you know, a little character thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's a kind of thing where, like, Morgan used he, him pronouns for all of the dead pod. Creek is the only one we know of who uses pronouns other than he, him. But, like, so Sarah has used they, them for Creek, I've noticed.
Yeah.
And Sato used they, them for all of the victims, which I actually think is a deliberate thing for her, at least. I think that, like... Yeah, I was paying attention because I was like, that was something that I had noticed, is that almost everybody uses he, him for Creek. And it's one of those things where it's like, I do like that the game had their, like, trans rights bit in Sato's interview.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing where I think that, like, just saying, well, in the future, nobody gives a shit about surgeries, so trans people are doing fine. It's like, that's such a, like, it's a small portion of the trans experience.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not saying that the game is, like, bad or problematic. I'm just saying that I think it's a case where, like, sometimes these issues are more nuanced than just that, because Morgan saw a bunch of people who she coded as men and just called them he, him. And pretty much everybody else, aside from Sarah and Sato and apparently Han here, were just using he, him for Creek just because that's kind of the assumption that they made. I think it's the kind of case where I can believe that things like gender affirming surgery are more common in this space future. But it kind of seems like it might have just reified this idea of people who look like men are men and people who look like women are women. So it's the kind of thing where it's just like, yeah, it's one positive space future thing, but it doesn't necessarily fix the underlying issues, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Are you kidding? Yeah, of course I would have taken it. I would have eaten the damn paper to make sure. Why didn't you simply eat the damn paper later, when you did see it?
Removing an item from an ARC scan building would set off any number of red flags. And the first thing that would happen is they'd wind the clock back to see what it was.
That's what I did. Looked back to see how the hell I missed it. But the damn thing was in every pick the ARCs had, right from the beginning. Knocking over trash to hide it was the best I could do. The reward survival tactics. Hide in numbers. This scrap wasn't on the second floor when you left, but it was on the ARCs from the start. That means Ray's body cam saw it by the second floor windowsill. The one that connected to the fire escape.
Yes, good. We can finally prove. Your Honor, I believe we're done with this witness. Even though all we've managed to establish is that. Yeah.
Oh, she's not done.
It's like, where do you keep getting those poker chips?
That someone went from the third floor to the second floor without taking the stairwell. Someone circled around.
Yeah, come on, guys.
We keep circling around to that.
We keep circling around. Rogers, did you do this?
He's looking pretty suspicious right now.
He's looking pretty suspicious, but it's weird the way that the first testimony went.
Yeah, he definitely seemed pretty genuinely stupid. Maybe not stupid, but at least like clumsy.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe it's all an act. Maybe he's just
it could be an act.
A mastermind.
Like if it is an act, then he is truly a criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
It definitely explains some things like, how is he so specifically bad at the shooting that he just barely manages to not pass all the time?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That he just got just enough.
Just enough to fail. But, like, I still feel like the construction of a lot of his lies don't make sense unless he is, or his inconsistencies don't make sense if they are lies.
I don't know.
It's like, why would he drop enough to make it clear that, like, oh, only Chopin heard the gunshots, I didn't hear the gunshots. Like, he's laying a lot of truth in there.
Yeah.
To a degree that I don't think it would be necessary to maintain the lie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, one.
You got all that from one paper? Am I stupid?
Just because those papers originated on the third floor? If that scrap was found by the windowsill, someone could have taken the fire escape. Yes. A place...
Exactly.
That's not the stairwell. Emma, you're proving our point. Could have. Someone could have. But obviously they didn't, because then they would have run right into... If they left as he left.
Dr. Sato! Oh, is she done with her thing?
Dr. Sato, you were on the scene of the crime.
But that does make Rogers really suspicious.
It makes well, okay, the thing is, the idea of this person must have run into Rogers. I'm like, I do think it makes it much easier if Rogers just did it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I am going to point out, if somebody went down the fire escape just as Rogers was going up the stairs,
yeah, that
they
is also
wouldn't have
entirely
crossed
possible,
paths.
yeah. Yep. She has some evidence, or DNA, or whatever. Maybe even an
evidence
autopsy
of
report, if you even care.
If you even care. That's
They have to
great.
get the updated autopsy report meme in, of course.
Finally.
Should we let her in?
Your Honor, you're the one overseeing the trial, so...
So I can cry if I want to. Open her up! And kick the flirt out. Dang, she doesn't want to be flirted at this time?
So, like, I'm also going to point out, if she is telling the truth about all of this, including the fact that she didn't hear the thing that made them split up, and if there was a thing that made them split up, and that thing is the window opening, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be like, I said that every time, and they kept punishing me for it.
Hey, Miss Morgan. That Ikarian dog didn't kill Creek's pod. No, he didn't. You gonna find out who did? Already have. Not your job, huh?
Huh.
Guess I deserve that.
Oh no. Finding Creek's killer is not technically my job either, Han. But if they're brought before me, I can promise I won't hold anything back. Even if they happen
Amazing.
to be like a really hot female serial killer I have toxic Yuri with. In fact, the toxic Yuri will make me hold back less.
Appreciate the sentiment. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. And I won't tell any of the other young bloods to hold theirs.
So we're just, Morgan's gathering a lot of enemies.
Alright. I think that is it for today. Very exciting.
What the fuck do you mean Han didn't do it?
Yeah, she was our
Han.
only suspect. Well,
If
there
it's
goes that
fucking
theory.
Rogers.
That would be so
If
funny because
Rogers-
we were like suspecting him from the very start.
We were
And if
suspecting
we
him
like
from the
circle back on
beginning.
that, that would be hilarious.
And then he
I feel like
shows
it's
up
not
and it's
likely,
like...
but it would be really funny.
Again, I think his construction of like every time he had a contradiction that we caught, he just let it stand. And
Yeah.
that's something that doesn't usually happen with killers who are covering up a crime.
Yeah, exactly.
We
He was
do
very
know-
cooperative.
He was very cooperative. And again, I'm like, he could have picked any excuse for why did we go upstairs. He picks something that must have happened at some point during the crime scene, but like, why bother moving the timeline around like that? Like, and I think it's so weird that Han gave her whole testimony and we didn't even get to point out, hang on a second, Han said she didn't jump into the dumpster until way after. Like,
Yeah.
I hate the fact that we can't call out that contradiction, I think it's kind of important for the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not sure why he would suggest a loud noise, a slam as the thing, when thus far it had just been like, well, I don't know, Chopin seemed to know what he was doing, so I just listened to him. I'm just dumb Officer Rogers and I can't handcuff a cow. So like, if we get one of those like dramatic like villain face turns where suddenly like the stupid mask drops, it's like, that's gonna be wild.
It
But-
would be.
It's gonna be wild. I'm like, the only person we have left is Murray, who we have no evidence to put her at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
If she was there, she was a fucking ghost.
Mm.
And it's like, that's bad for our case. So, yeah, shit happened today.
Yeah.
Shit happened today. We still haven't gotten to fucking make Sosuke accept that he's the Anastasia princess and everything. I want to emotionally destroy that man.
Yeah, it feels like we've gotten some answers, but mostly questions.
We've gotten some answers. Han didn't even know. She didn't
Yeah.
even know this shit. I love how every person who seems like they should know doesn't, and every person who seems like they shouldn't know does.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my God.
Interesting. Well, I think things are gonna get even spicier next time. So
Yep.
I look forward to that. I'm not sure how much is left of this game, really.
Yeah,
and I don't
that's
want
the
to
other
know any
thing.
answers, but I
Yeah.
think we will probably be able to finish it next week sometime.
If
There
it's
is someone
next
who's
week,
been to
it'll
the
have
crime
to
and
be
left no
Rogers.
traces. That's true.
There is one person, Murray's just like, yeah, you know, I was also there doing a fake drug deal. I was in the other room.
Convincing Sosuke who his real family is what Phoenix Wright would do, not Evangeline Morgan. That's so true. You're right.
I mean, yes.
Well,
but
like if we
narratively-
need to do it for the case, then she might try to.
case.
But otherwise, I
Yeah,
don't think
like,
Morgan
literally,
cares. Sarah probably
Morgan
cares.
doesn't give a shit. Morgan doesn't give a shit, but like there has been so much of this episode that's been revolving around that.
Mm-hmm.
And like we had a whole confession scene from Daisuke about it, and I'm like, there's no way that happens and it doesn't matter in
For
some
sure,
way
it's
to
gonna
the
be
arc
important.
or themes of the game. I'm like, if it is fucking Murray, then her motive has to be tied up in that somehow. If it's Rogers, then it's probably like he just hates Chopin. But like, I don't know, it's so weird. We've got all these pieces. We've got way more pieces than we really like need, maybe. And that's making it hard to fit them
Yeah.
together.
Very interesting. All right.
Like,
Well.
yeah.
We'll do something with that at some point for sure.
At
And
some
I'm
point,
intrigued
like,
to find out what that's gonna be.
oh god.
All right.
If
Well,
it's
I
Murray,
guess
though,
that
we've
is-
got to like. If it's Murray, I don't think we're finishing it next time. It's like if it's Rogers, maybe, but if it's Murray, no.
It could also be someone else entirely. It could technically be that we don't find out. We're just gonna prove that it couldn't have been Sosuke, and
A
then that's
wild
it.
genre-bending twist
Yep.
that you actually just prove your client innocent, and that's all.
Yep. Who could
that
imagine
would be a true genre subversion.
that?
Oh god.
Yep. All right.
It's
well,
like, I know technically we
I
did
guess
that
we'll
with
see.
the prologue, but that's a prologue. It doesn't count.
yeah. All right. I mean, they have to have their like dramatic villain reveal on the stand, right?
Yeah.
The villain breakdown.
Fucking
Okay.
A. All
Well,
right.
Yeah, schedule should probably be normal. Yeah, speed paint on Sunday, and then we'll be back with more of this game on Tuesday.
All right. See you guys next time.
Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys next time. Good night.